Good day, everybody. I hope you are having a good day there. Today, we are planning to learn nested loops. Previous day, we have learned loops. But first, before everything else, let's review what we have learned. Loops are very important, and we are going to use them a lot of time. Okay, let me open it. Loops. When we want to repeat something again and again, we can use loops. Let me open it a little bit more. And we have tried to solve a few questions. This is a good example for. Let's check the question. Print the number 1. Print all the numbers starting from 1 until 100. And 100 will be included in those numbers. We should put a space between them, and all of them should be in the same line. That's the question. How can we use the loop? We can use loops for a few specific situations. One of them is if you want to repeat same code again and again, you can use loop. But when we are doing this, of course, first loop, second loop, third loop, fourth loop, the number will be like this. And these numbers will have a name, of course. In the loops, most of the time, we will use I for each number. And there's a plus in those loops. You can use the loop number. If it is the first loop, you can use value of I as a number. It doesn't have to start from 1. You can start from anything, any number. The only difference will be starting number. The logic will be exactly the same. But the value of I will be different in each loop, of course. It will start from 6, for example, in the second situation. But in this one, this part, it's the starting value. It say I will start from 1. This is the ending condition. Every time after the loop, this one will be checked. Actually, at first loop, when we set the value, it will be checked too. If it is true, loop will continue. Dance will continue till morning. If it is true, loop will continue. And this part is the increment or decrement, but here it is an increment. After the loop, when the loop finishes, this little guy will increase the value of I by 1. In the first loop, it was 1, and here it will be 2 in the second loop. And it will continue until I is higher than 100. When I is higher than 100, the condition will be false. Because of that, loop will stop. Let's try to understand from the different question. Here it's saying take a positive integer from user, okay, and print the numbers divisible by 7, starting from 1 until that number, including the entered number. Okay, still starting value is 1. Starting value. What's the condition? I should be smaller or equal to entered number. As long as I is smaller than entered number, loop will continue. I put equal to symbol 2 because it says including entered number. This is the condition. And what we are going to do, it is about to loop body. But here we have to check all the numbers. So each time I will increase the value of I by 1. This is the increment. So starting value, I should be equal to 1. Condition, I should be smaller or equal to entered number or ending number. increment 1 plus plus. Each time I will increase the number by 1. And we are going to check if the number can be divided by 7. If remainder is 0, we will print the value itself. Okay, the next one is, let's check the question. Take a positive number starting and ending values. We are going to take two different values from user, and the first number will be the starting number, the second one will be the ending number for the loop. And we will print the sum of all numbers between them. Okay. Starting number will be entered number. Condition, as long as entered number, okay, right, entered number is smaller than or smaller than second entered number, the loop will continue, and each time we will increase the value by 1. Because the system is asking us to calculate sum of all the numbers between those two numbers. If you can imagine that logic, the rest will be very easy for you. Okay, take a number less than 20 from the user and calculate the factorial value of this number. Factorial means if user entered 5, we are going to 5 months. We will do this calculation. 3, 2, and 1. 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times 1. This is the factorial. So take a number less than 20 from user and calculate the factorial number. As you can see, whatever user enters, we will try to multiply all the numbers until that number, including the entered number. If you can see the logic, this time we should start from entered number. Starting number, I will be entered number. Do we have a condition? Yes. As long as I is higher than 0, the system will continue calculating the result. Increment, instead of the increment, we will have decrement here because each time we are decreasing the value by 1. 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2. And it means I minus minus. Here, the starting number, I should be equal to entered number. Condition, I should be higher than 0. And each time we will decrease the value by 1. The logic of the body, it's not important here because we are trying to understand how to use loops. If you want to understand that, you can solve this question. I have explained it detailedly in the previous lesson. Another one, this is a long one. Okay, let's don't touch it. It's very easy actually. Get a positive number from user and print all integers starting from 1. This one, this part is the loop. Print all integers starting from 1. Starting number is 1. Condition, we will get a positive number, and it means whenever, as long as I is smaller than entered number, the loop will continue. And they want us to print all the numbers, and we can do it by increasing the value by 1 each time. At first loop, it will be 1. Say in the second one, it will be 2. Third, 3, fourth, 4. I'm trying to explain all of it because the loops are very important. This is a long one, don't worry about that. Okay, prime number, I'm not going to explain this one too. Because it's all about the logic. If you want to understand it, you should solve the question itself. But to remember what we have learned, I want to start by solving a question. Okay, I have clicked a lot of things. Let me close it. A second, please. Okay. I have a good question for you. Let's go back a little, yesterday's topic. Here, let's solve this question, question 9, interview. It is not very hard question, but creating the logic is hardest part. If you can create the logic, the rest will be very easy. And please don't worry if you cannot create the logic in time, you will be able to. If you have started creating, logic, it is very good. It's really very impressive. I will copy this question 9. And okay, I have clicked the same thing again. Let me close it. Today, day 13 it is. Day 13 nested loop. Oh no, I don't want to create a class. Sorry, there was deleted. I wanted to create a package. Day 13 nested loop. And I want to teach methods. First question is coming. C1 for loop interview questions. We have the question. And we are going to ask a string from user, then we will print the string in reverse. And let's say this is the string user entered. Java is beautiful. Okay, we have a string. How can I print it in reverse? I'm a human, and I will use human logic. First, I will write the last letter, right? L, U, F, I, T, U, A, E, B. I could be able to print this one. And there's a space here. S, I, space, A, V, A, J. And I did it, right? Without doing anything, I did it. How? Let me explain how I did it. I just started from the last one, and one by one, I have printed all of them. Somehow, if I can reach this data by repeating and using the numbers, I can print all of them. Tick, 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 tick. Like a working clock. To that, I need to use logic, of course. How will I do that? Let's try to explain that part here. Let's say user entered Java, and I will enter the index numbers. Okay, somehow, first I need to print this one, right? First action. In this one, I need to use index values. Okay, I got it. And I want to reach the last one. But numbers will dynamically change. If user enters a long word or a sentence, the number will be a lot higher than this value. It should be dynamic. But we know we can reach the length of the string. So I will use that. Let's say string user entered is Java. And now I want to print this one. First, you need to get the length of this value. User entered number dot length will give us the 4. It has 4 characters, as you can see. I will use this value to print the last letter. How can I reach it? It's very easy. There are 2 options. You can use Charet, and if you want to use Charet, print user entered dot char at user entered dot length -1. Or we can do it like this. Let's assign this value to integer length. I will say length -1. -1 will be 3, and directly it will print the 3. And in the loop, how can we create a loop here? Each time I need to decrease value by 1, as you can see. At first, it will be 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. This will be my logic. The starting value will be, according to Charet, the starting value will be 3, str length -1. And as long as it is higher or equal to 0, loop will continue executing. Let's print it. If it works, I will try to solve it with a different way. Okay. I can create main method, I know it. Let's get a string value from user. To get a value from user, scanner will be the first step. Scanner scan leave scanner system dot in, and we have scanner. Let's inform user. Please write something here. We will reverse it. Scanner, string user entered string or text scan dot next line. I will use next line because it may be a sentence and it may include a space character, and I want to store all of it. Now we have the text value, and let's say it is Java for now. So I need to create the loop. Starting value, starting number will be user enters string dot length -1. User entered string dot length -1. Condition: as long as I is higher or equal to 0, the system will continue. And each time I will decrease the value of I by 1. Let's do that. For I will start from user entered string dot length -1. Let's not do it like this, because when I do it like this, it may be very confusing. I will delete this part, and before writing there, I will store the length, integer string length, user enters string dot length. Okay, now I have a length. Let's write it here, but first it should be lowercase. String length -1. It's better, right? It is easier to understand. It will start from that number. As long as I is higher or equal to 0, the loop will continue. And each time I will decrease the value by 1. I should be ready. Starting from the last one, I should be able to print all of it. User entered char at R. Let's see. Oh, I have forgotten. I shouldn't write LM here because I want to print all of it in the same line. If you use print ln, all of them will be in different lines. And you will see it in action. Okay, I will write Java here. And watch. Let's run it one more time. This time it should work as planned. Let's use a longer one. It worked. Java is beatable. Just as I told you, it is here. And it did the job. And it's very short code. Even though it's very short, it did the job. Do you have any question for this one? Okay, we did print it, yes, but I haven't saved the result anywhere. I just printed it. And in coding, if you are not saving it somewhere, it means you are not going to use it in anywhere. You are not going to use it in anywhere. If you want to save it, I wouldn't prefer using char@r because this will create a char character, and if you want to save the total value, you cannot. This char character can store only one character, you know. So instead, somehow we should handle it by using string data. If you want to take, if you want to take a part of a string, you should use substring. Okay, I will go back to the questions. And here, in the next one, it is the same question, but instead of printing, we will save it somewhere. The logic is same, but when they say save it, we should change a few things in the code. I will create another class for this one. Okay, I'm trying to call a person. CO2 for loops interview question. Where is the question? Here the question. Main method. Okay. Now we are going to ask user for a string value. Okay, let's do that. Scanner, scan, mir system.in. Okay, so please write something string text. The user will enter. Dot next line. We have the value. Reversing it is easy. How can we store it? Java alphabet word index numbers. And again, to save it somewhere, when we take the last letter, we should save it to a string, right? String reverse. First, I will send A, then I will send B, then A, and then G. if I send all the letters in this order, I will have a reverse string in the code. The critical part, how I will take this last letter and the other letters, of course, I will use substring this time. Instead of char8 by using index, I will use a substring and two numbers. If you can remember that topic, it will be very easy. Let's clean everything and create a loop. The logic is very same. I will create for a loop, just like the previous one. And before everything else, let's take the calculate the length of the text, integer, length, text dot length. I will start from length -1. It will continue until it is, as long as it is higher or equal to 0, and each time I will decrease the value by 1. So, how can I reach Java 0, 1, 2, 3? How can I reach last letter? When we think about the substring method, it's very easy. I should start writing from the just before the 3. And the limit should be here, like this, 4. I hope you could be able to see what I'm doing here. I will write, I will start writing from just before the last index. I will tell substring method to start from there, and the limit will be 4. The first value here, length -1, is 3, right? We have Java, and it has 4 characters in it. And when I use the length -1, it will be 3. So I should write it like this: substring starting from 3, ending at 4. The first I will be 3. The second one will be I plus 1. If I do that, I will be able to print this one. In the next loop, I will decrease each value by 1. It will be 2 and 3. In the second loop, because of this decrement, I will be 2. And if I write, I will be 2 plus 1, 3. Starting from 2, ending just before the 3. It will print this one. Let's try it. But I need to save it somewhere, right? I should have a bucket there. Let's create the string reverse. String reverse. It will have nothing at first. I will take the last letter and throw it in this reverse string. Reverse will be added to itself. Let's write it like this. It will be better to understand. Reverse plus text substring I, comma, I plus 1. First A will come here. This part will be A. And at first, reverse had nothing. So nothing plus A. Reverse will be A. In the second one, the third letter will come, index 2. So it will be 3. And reverse was A from the previous loop. When I add them, it will be Let's see. And one more thing. The question did not ask us to print the result. So you do not need to print it. But if you want to see if it is working or not, I prefer writing the reverse. Okay, first I will write Java. Oh, it's working. Let's use a longer one. Java equal. Okay, it seems like perfect. In the previous one, we only printed the value. In the second one, I have saved the reversed string value here in the reverse, and we do not need to print it. We do not need to print the result because no one asked for it. Okay. Do we have any question? Of course we don't. But let me check. Of course, perhaps every time there might be a miracle and we may have a question, which would make me very happy. But of course, no. Let's check me there too. Slack channel. No, nothing. Nothing there too. Okay. Let's continue. Well, we have solved a lot of questions. If you want, we can continue solving different questions. But for now, let's enter nested loop. It is a kind of new topic, but it is not. It is very similar to nested normal loops. The only difference is there will be another loop inside of the first loop. And if want, I can put another nested loop in the nested loop. And it can continue like this forever. But we are not going to put a lot of nested loops. Just one will be enough for us. If you can understand the logic, you can add as many nested loops as you want. Sometimes nested loops won't be enough to calculate if you calculations. You know, loop means you are executing same body again and again. And when you want to prepare a multiplication table, for example, you will need two loops. Let's do it like this: 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. I will do it until 3, don't worry. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. Please pay attention. Here, 1, 2, 3. These are the increasing I values, right? I plus 1, I plus 2. And very similar thing. There's values. I will use another letter, A plus 1, A plus 2. As you can see, this is the first loop, and this is the second loop. You can change order, don't worry. Outer loop will be for the lines. Inner loop line numbers, for example, A plus 1, A plus 2. 1, 2, 3. And inner loops will about the inner side. Let's change the color. I will use pink. I plus 1, I plus 2. So the outer loop will calculate these numbers, and the inner loop will calculate this side of the numbers. If you do it like this, as you can see, we need two loops working inside of the outer one. Otherwise, we won't be able to calculate or find these results. Here, this is another example. Let's try to understand same thing from a bigger table. I have used three numbers until the 3, but this one is using all the numbers up to 4. This is the outer loops. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the loop. And this is the second loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. They are doing the same thing, I know, but actually, the a way of using those numbers is different. The first loop, outer loop, will decide the line numbers. This is the first line, and each time when I call this value, if it is I, it will be like this. I will be always 1 in this line, because again and again, in the second loop, I am calling I. But when I start talking about the inner loop, this inner loop will decide. First one is G. Let's use G, and the second one will be G plus 1 plus 2, and this one for this one plus 3. I hope you can see the logic. In the second loop here, when we come here, I will be 2. This time, I equals to 2. For this line, whenever we see I, it means it will be 2. 2, 2, 2, and another 2. For G, again, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will continue like this. You can change the order, but for now, let's focus on this. Outer loop will decide the line numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And inner loop will be about line 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we can use any numbers. Outer loop starts from 1 and ends 4, as you can see. As long as starting point is 1 and the condition is I smaller or equal to 4, it will continue, and each time it will increase the value of I by 1. I think I used the wrong color. Let me write it the correct color. I will write same thing, but to understand, it starts from 1, starting value. And as long as it's small or equal to 4, the loop will continue. Small or equal to 4. And increment each time we increase the value by 1. E plus plus. What about our green guy? It is same, right? It will start from 1, but I will use different letter now. Equals to 1. And as long as it's smaller or equal to 4, the loop will continue. And the increment is J plus plus. They will do the same thing, but we will use 2 different loops. Okay, let's try to write this in IntelliJ. I will clean everything. Oh, let's keep it here. CO3 nested loops. We have a clean place here, so I'm planning to use it there. No questions, no one. Nothing. Let's create a multiplication table. One, two, four. Start from one until four. We have created the main method for I. For the first one, it will start from one. And as long as it's smaller or equal to 4, it will continue. And each time I will increase the value by 1. And the inner loop, I will do the same thing. And let's write another for I. As you can see, this system automatically changed the letter. Now it will use this letter. Again, it will start from 1. And as long as this is smaller or equal to 4, it will continue and we will increase the value by 1. What do we want to do right now? Okay, in this one, if I want to results, I can do it. Or if I want to print the numbers, I can also do that. Let's try to results. Each time, I will print the multiplication of these values as a result. So E times I times J, and I will leave a space after it. I hope it works. This works. I will close those things. Let's print the values. And from the result, we will understand what we should do. Oh, all of them are printed like this. I don't want that. When I delete this ln, all the result will be side by side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, it is working, but somehow after the 4 numbers, I want to go to the next line. So this is the first line. After completely writing the first line, if you want to go to the next line, this is the inner loop, as you can see. After it, I need to switch to the second line. So this code, after completing first inner loop, the system will switch to next line. Here, right now, it is better, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 times 1, it is 1. 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4. 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. Just like here. We did not print the values, I know. I can write it like this too, if I wanted to, but it will make here very complicated, so I did not. But you can see we could be able to calculate the results very easily. Let's write. Inner loop can be used for line numbers. Outer loop will decide number of lines. The first line, second line, third line, fourth line. In the loop 1, 2, 3, 4. And here the system is calculating the values. Don't forget that the K point is that in the first loop, at first, I will be 1, right? In the first loop, I will be in 1. So this is the inner loop. And for the first one, I will be 1. No matter what, I will be always 1 until this inner loop is completed. So it will come here. Let's say G is 1 and it will continue until it is as long as it is smaller than 4 or equal to 4. At first it will print I is 1, no matter what, I will be 1, G is 1, and a space. In the second inner loop, G will be 2. In the third inner loop, 3. In the fourth one, it will be 4. And it will increase the value, it will be 5, and it will be ended. And it will go to the next line. Here, no matter what, I was always 1 because the bigger loop, outer loop, hasn't ended. No matter what, as long as we reach here, the value of I will not change. It starts here and ends here. In the inner loop, I will always be 1, as long as code cannot reach here. In the second loop, because returning to first line, this code will increase the value of I, and it will be 2. When system comes here, this time I will be always 2, and only value of G will change. So it will be G 2 times. At first, G will be 1. In the second loop, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. And then this loop will be completed. The system will go to the next line, and then it will come again at the beginning of the outer loop. And this time, I will be 3. And each time, in each loop, it will be like this. I hope I could be able to explain how it works, but don't worry, we will try to solve a lot of loop questions. And even though the topic is not loop, we will use loops. So no matter what, you will be able to understand how to use loops. Don't worry, as long as you do the practice, it will be very easy for you after solving a few questions. I couldn't be able to catch the bug. It will bite me. That's for certain now. Yes, for sure now. Okay, let's have our break time. We will have 11 minutes, then we will continue solving questions. Hello again. Let's continue. Where were we? We're talking about nested loops. Yes, and we will try to solve out of questions to understand what's going on there. For now, let's focus on that. Outer loop will decide the number of lines, and inner loop will be used for whatever we want to do in the line, same line. By doing that, we may cover a lot of things. We could be able to write those numbers, okay? Yes, number one takes value, number two takes all values from starting point, blah, 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 blah. Yes, out of blah, blah. Okay, now we will try to print other symbols. First, I want to print this one. Before everything else, we should understand the logic. Then we will try to handle the question. Sorry. I will write the question in IntelliJ. Then we will try to understand the logic. CO3 for nested loop questions. We need again that part. We need the main method. Then we are ready. Let's write the question. Write the print 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the space? Okay. I don't know how many I have used. I will count them. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that's a good number. And 5 lines, 10 stars. Let's try to understand. So I want to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. This will be all about outer loop. Inner loop will try to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 stars. 10 star. I mean, let's think it like this. I want to only print this part. Don't think about the outer or anything else. Just focus on this part. By using a loop, can I print this? Yes. It will be like this. I need to print star plus a space 10 times, right? It will be okay. If I can print a body, and if I print it 10 times in a loop, it will print this line. If that's okay, if you got this part, I will use this. This will be an inner loop. An outer loop will print it 5 times. It will print the same thing, second, third, and fourth, and fifth time. As you can see, it will create this structure. I don't know what this. It seems like a wall, a thick wall, and we will be able to print. But let's focus on this part. First, I will create the inner loop. We have created the main method, and let's create inner loop. For I will change the letter G. It will start from 1. You can start from 0, 2, and as long as it is smaller or equal to 10, it will continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It will print. It will do whatever I write here 10 times. And I want to print south, star, and the space. Let's test it. Okay. Okay, of course, this should be like this. Okay, let me write. Sorry. Star and the space. we have only this code here. It will print this code 10 times. Oh, all of them should be side by side. Delete that ln part, which means line. And I have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's working. Now I need to execute this code in different lines 5 times. This will be the outer loop. I will delete this part. For this will be the body of the loop. And this time it will start from 1. And as long as it's smaller or equal to 5, it will continue. But don't forget, after completing first loop, I need to switch to the next line. After completing the inner loop, this code will take me to the next line. And again, it will complete the same thing. It will complete the inner loop, and we will be able to receive the structure. Here it is. Voila. Let me explain one more time. I have focused this part. This is the inner loop. Because inner loops is responsible for the line. It's not like that, but for now we will imagine it that way. And in the inner loop, we should print this. And I want to print 10 stars in the inner loop. It means it will repeat writing space and space, star in space 10 times. I have created a loop which will repeat this body again and again until G is smaller than 10. As you can see, I haven't used the letter in the loop. It doesn't matter. It will repeat the same loop 10 times. It will create star, 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 10 star. This is for the line. And the next one, I want to print it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And here, the outer loop will do that. Starting from 1, and as long as I is smaller or equal to 5, it will continue. The second outer loop will repeat this function 5 times. And after writing the stars, this code will take us to the next line. It means next line. It will write 10 stars. It will switch to next line because of this one. And again, it will print 10 stars and it will go to the next line. Let me show you something. If I cancel this code and print 10 star here, it will do the same thing. Oh, and actually I love it. Oh, I delete this part. So inner loop does this, and outer loop manages the lines. I hope I could be able to explain what's happening here. Okay. So I hope you got it. And as you can see, it works. Let's try to print something else. Something harder. And now let's create these lines. Oh, before that, let's try to solve this one. Okay, first stars. I don't know which one do you prefer. We can solve the stars or the numbers. I think numbers are easier. Yes, I will try to print these values by using the loop. New class CO5 nested loops. Questions in this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. So let's try to understand what's happening here. The logic is the most important thing. If you can create the logic, the rest will come to you. Don't worry. About the lines, do we change anything in the lines? No, always it starts from 1. It seems like we are not changing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The outer loop will repeat itself 5 times. Okay. What about the inner loop? It seems something is different here. In the first loop, I will be 1 here, right? It is only printing 1 number. Yes, it starts from 1, I know that. And it will only print 1 number. In the second loop, here I is 2. It printed 2 numbers, 1 and 2. Interesting. Third loop, I is 3. It printed 3 numbers. Oh, interesting. As you can see, inner loop's limit comes from outer loop. Outer loop's first round, the first round number is 1. It will print only 1 number. Outer loop's second loop, it is printing 2 numbers. In the third loop, the I will be 3. The inner loop is printing 3 numbers. It is all about the outer loop's loop number. Number of numbers is decided according to outer loop number. If it is the first loop, it will only print 1 number. Inner loop, let's write like this. If it is the first outer loop, inner loop will only print 1 number. In the second outer loop, inner loop will print 2 numbers. So limit is decided according to the outer loop's loop number. I will treat outer loop first for I. I know it will start from 1 instead of 0, and it will continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until I reaches 5. This will repeat itself 5 times. Okay, we did it. What about the inner loop? How can I decide it? You know, 0 starts from 1, it's for sure. Always it will print the number. How can I say? As long as G is smaller or equal to something, and it will act according to the I from the first outer loop. I should create a connection here. The limit should be decided according to the outer loop's loop number. If it is first loop, it should print on the one loop, one number. If it is outer loop's second number, second loop, I will be 2 this time. This inner loop should print only 2 numbers. If I is 3, it means it is outer loop's third loop. This loop should continue until it reaches 3. I should write I here. When I do it like this, it will work perfectly fine. What will happen? At first, I is 1. It means the I is 1. As long as it will print 1. Here, when I increase the value by 1, it will be 2. It won't print anything else. Let me write the question. So, G and plus space. In the second loop, now I is 2. Here will be 2, 2. G will start from 1, of course. In the first inner loop, it will print 1 space. Then it will repeat this inner loop, 2 and space. In the third one, when I becomes 3, we will go to the next line. G will be 1 again, space, 2, space, and 3, space, and it will continue just like this, again and again. Let's run it. Oh, after the first inner loop, when it comes here, we should switch to the next line. And we know after the inner loop, we should say sort without writing anything. It will switch next line. Now I can run the code. Oh, I have forgotten to delete this ln. I always do that. Now numbers will be side by side like this. Okay, we did it without working hard. We could be able to change the stairs. If I increase the value, if I make it 10, there will be 10 lines here, and the last number will be 10. Here it is. Let's see all of it. If we increase the value to 100, we will see a big stair there. Oh, it is very big. But you should see what's happening there. And voila. Out of numbers, like metrics, right? So, okay, we did it. We do not need to use that much number, just use 5. The answer should be exactly the same as the question. Okay, now let's continue. We can solve a lot of the pretty questions. Let's go back to the questions. Okay, I will change something here. This time we will make it a little more interesting. Question type will be very similar, but handling will be a little different. This time I will copy this code and create a new question. CO6 nested loops main method, and we will write 3, 4, 3, 4, 6, 4, 8, 12, 16. Right, this much is enough, I think. Okay, let's write it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. At this time, we will print this. They're very similar logic. Just I changed a few things, and it seems harder, but actually, it is very same. Don't worry. How can we print that? It is very same. Outer loop will decide the line numbers. And again, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every time this system will be the same, according to the number of outer loops, it will print that many numbers. In the first loop, there will be only one number. In the second loop, there will be 2 numbers. In the third one, 3 numbers. Oh, this is wrong. This is 6 and 9, sorry. The fourth one, fifth one, it will continue like this. How can we do that? Don't worry. Let's create the first outer loop. It's very same for I loop. It will start from 1, and it will continue until it is as long as it is smaller or equal to 5. And each time I will increase the value by 1. Outer loop is ready. What about inner loop for I? Again, it will start from 1, and I know that it will print many numbers, as many numbers as the loop numbers. So I will write I here. The logic is very same. I have created the basics. How can what I should write here? First, I should reach the 1, then 2 and 4, then 3, 6 and 9. That's the critical point. We have created the nested loops, and according to my idea, it will work. How can it? First, it will print 1. This is the first line and first number. 1, 1. 1 times 1. Okay. This is the first number, but second line. 1 times 2. This is the second number from the line and second line. Oh, interesting. This is the first number, 1 times 3. Second number, 2 times 3. Third number, 3 times 3. Interesting. Fourth line, but first number, 1 times 4. Second number, 2 times 4. Third number, 3 times 4. Fourth number, 4 times 4. Oh, it's working. It's like a miracle. Okay, let's print it. So I need to multiply the number order and the line number. Line is I. It comes from the first outer loop I times the second. The order of number comes from the second inner loop. I will write that letter. Then I will add a plus. After completing each loop, I want to switch to the next line. After the inner loop, I will write salt, nothing. The next line. It takes out the next line. It was very fast, but we did it. So let me check if we have any question. No, nope. Oh, you might have a question right now. Do we have? Please ask me anything. You can use Slack channel or YouTube channel or Zoom channel, wherever you are. If you have a question, if you have any question, please, without any hesitation, ask it. That will make me very happy. No question. Okay. I'm really used to that. Everybody got what I'm trying to explain here? It's actually a very hard question, topic, and it's very normal for you to understand nothing. But don't worry, it will time you will get used to it. But don't forget that you have to write all those questions, you have to solve them yourself. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve all of them. You won't be able to use them in action. You have to solve them right now to use them when you need them. Them. Okay. I will go back and I will try to solve another question. Let's try to solve another question here. What about this one? It seems very hard, right? We'll focus on this one. Interesting. As you can see, the star numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you should be able to see it each time 2 stars are disappearing from the middle symbol structure. Now let's do that. It's a nice one. And I'm not sure if I can solve it. If I cannot solve it, I will ask help from you. CO7 nested loops. Next question is coming. And the question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the second one, there will be, oh, I will do it like this. I will delete 2 of them. The next one, delete 2 of them and get rid of 2 more stars. And to make it clear, okay, please don't put them there. Why are you putting star there? I'm not doing anything. I'm just pressing enter and it's putting a star there. Okay, I will try to receive this structure. First, the logic. If you cannot understand the logic, knowing everything, all the technical info means nothing. How to loop will decide the number of lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 lines. It means somehow loop will continue 4 times. What about the inner loop? First, it will start from 8. And each time, it will decrease the value by 2. It will be 6 in the second loop. Okay, that much info is enough for you. For I loop, not that. For I, okay. I will start from 1 and it will continue until it is as long as it's smaller or equal to 4. 4 times. This seems okay. For inner loop, G will start from 8, right? This time, the logic is a little different. And as long as it is higher than 0, it will continue or equal, don't worry. Or 2, let's make it 2, last value is 2. It's not very necessary, but don't worry. So, but each time in the inner loop, it should decrease the value by 2. How can I do that? At first, it will print 8 stars. This one should print 8 stars. How can we do that? Somehow we should create a logic here, and each time it should decrease the number of stars by 2. Do you have an idea? I have actually. Perhaps we can change the first outer loop structure. So, most of the time, number of stars are created by using the loops numbers. What happens if I start the 4 to 1? It may work, let's start do that. I will start from 4, and this time I will decrease the values like this. Minus minus. It does the same thing, right? It will execute 4 lines. At first it will 4, 3, 2, 1, and it will stop. So what about here? Let's start it from the 1, and as long as it is smaller or equal to I times 2, it means it will start from 1 and it will continue until it reaches 4 times 2, 8. Okay, this means this loop will be executed 8 times. So, star and the space. It seems like everything is okay. And after completing the first line in a loop, let's switch to the next line. So let's print it. If it works, I will try to explain it again. Oh no, I forgot to delete this part, sorry. They should be line by line, side by side. Then we will switch to the next line. But it seems like it's working, believe me. Oh, here they are. I did it. Let me explain what I was trying to do. At first, I want to write a long line. So each time, instead of increasing the number of numbers or stars, I want to decrease it. And number of numbers, stars here, always decided according to the loop numbers. If it is like this, at first I need to use maximum stars number. Because of that, in the first loop, I started from 4 and multiplied it by 2 to create star numbers. Of course, I could have started from 8, but I shouldn't. That way, I couldn't be able to decrease the value by 2 each line. The loop number I will be 4 here. And here, in the inner loop, should print 8 stars. Somehow, limit should be 8. And when I multiply it by 2, I can see the 8. Here, loop number is 3. In this one, it is 2, and the last one, it is 1. When it is 3, of course, when I multiply it, it will be 6. This code will be executed 6 times. It will print 6 stars. And for the next lines, the logic is very similar. I hope this is a good example for you. I hope you can solve it yourself in your home. If you can, it will be a really good practice for you. What about the next question? I think this one will be very easy for you. But okay, let's solve this question. This time, instead of numbers, we will print the stars. I think using stars is easier. It won't take much time, so let's solve it. 8 nested loops. Print this. Star, star, star. We haven't solved this, right? Let me check. No. 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 No, okay. For a second, I thought we did it. We did the same thing with numbers, but we haven't used the stars. If you can do it with numbers, doing it with stars is easier. This is the line numbers, and it will be outer loop. Starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be executed 5 times. I have forgotten to create main method. For I, it will start from 1. It will continue executing the body for 5 times. And each time I need to print a star. And if it is the first loop, I need to print 1 star. If it is the second loop, I need to print 2 stars. Third, 3 stars. So the inner loops loop number will be decided according to first loop number. Another for I, it will start from 1 as long as it's smaller or equal to I, number of the loop, outer loop. And it will print a star, so star and space. I'm not going to forget this ln. After completing the lines, I need to switch the next line, right? So that's all. We have solved it in 3 minutes, I think. Oh, voila, happiness. Pure happiness is here. We did it, guys. As you can see, we solved the question. And by that one, I think we have printed all the structures and numbers here. Do we have any question? Do we have? No. Of course not. It will be very surprising for me. Nothing on YouTube, Slack, Zoom channel. Let's continue. Oh, this one is very important. You know, methods. The logic is very important here. Most of the time, if you are planning to be a developer, it is more important for you. And still, if you want to be a tester, it is very important too. Let's say, why did we create missions? You know, we have created a lot of missions. For example, washing mission, washing disher, a lot of different missions, and they have a task, right? Again, they do the same thing. Let's say there is an arrow here. My beautiful drawings will help you to understand the method. We have a mechanical arm. Let me delete it. We have a mechanical arm. I cannot draw it. Okay. And it has a lot of different features, and it has this kind of hook or something. I don't know. It has its own functions. Let's say this is taking something from here. This is a ball. It takes it and puts it here. A human can do that, but most of the time we prefer using a machine for that. It will take it from here and it will put it here. That's its task. Even it's very easy to do it. When you do a mechanical arm, you won't be able to, you won't need a human to do it. And each time, without any complaining, without any holiday, nothing, no salary, just a few dollars for the electricity, it will do the same thing again and again. This is why we have created missions. And we are using them in everywhere, in every factory, in every production, producing something. When we want to create something, we use missions, you know. So methods are like this. We will create a method and use it again and again for the same function. You can create a lot of different methods for different purposes, and they will complete their task without any complaining. So I hope I could be able to explain. Let's see. Yes, we are going to create a code block, and it will do it again and again, just like the Iron Man. It creates machines and actually AIs, and they do the job. It is something like that. Of course, not as complex as that, but still, even if it is a simple level, it will do the same thing. Yes, my mechanical arm, as you can see, my drawing is better. It was better, right? It is not perfectly designed. It cannot do the same things. It takes the bottle from somewhere and puts them in the box. That's all. Why do we create machines? Actually, a human can do these things very easily. When you create machine, you can run it 24 hours in a day. It won't say anything as long as you oil it and don't unplug it from the electricity. It will continue working without any complaining. So we will create a method. Actually, creating this robot takes time, right? And a lot of money too. Designing this method, even designing takes a lot of time. Then you need to, there's a bug here, sorry. I couldn't catch it. I hope it does not take revenge. So, yes, and it takes time, but when you create it, it will be very useful. Methods are just like that. Creating them takes time, but if we can use them properly, it will decrease the total amount of time. For example, let's say you are creating a function to upload, you are trying to upload a picture to the system. This is the picture. And to upload this picture, you need to write 20 lines. 20 lines. And each time you are writing same lines to upload the picture to Facebook, for example. You will create a method, and in the method there will be 20 lines, but you will be able to call it, and there will be a method name. It will be upload picture. When you call it, hey, upload picture, you'll call it, and it will go to the picture, and it will upload it. Let's say you need to upload thousands of pictures in a day. Just you need to call the same method again and again instead of writing 20 lines for each uploading. That is where we will use methods. Just like a robot, you will create the method. It will have 20 lines, and to call it, you will create a name for it. And when you say its name, it will come and apply whatever codes are written in it. That's all. That's how it works. And you won't have any problem. You will save a lot of time and money, of course. If writing all this code takes a week, when you create a method, you can write all of them in a day. Yes, they work just like a robot, and when you call it, it will execute it. Oh, sometimes we do this mistake. I will explain. We have created the robot. We bought a robot, and it is in the factory, in the storage room. If you don't call it, it won't work. to use the robot, you should put it in production. You should put the robot in its place. If you don't put it there, it won't work. Creating methods, buying robots will be very unimportant, will be unnecessary if you don't use them. To use them, we need to call them or put them in the production line. This is very important when you start creating methods and using them in actual coding. You will see always at first you will always forget to call them. Yes. Why we create methods? For example, you can exactly write the code in main method and it works. When you create method, you need to call it from the main method. You know, in the coding, for now, everything starts from the main method, and other methods are like assistants. They will assist the main method. OP concept means let's touch that topic too. We should not repeat writing same codes again and again. And if you want to upload the picture 20 times, instead of writing there's lines again and again, you should create a method for it. If the codes are same, do not write same code again and again. Instead, create a code method and call it. That will handle everything. This way, you will save a lot of time, and also your coding will be better coding, and you will. It means you are applying OP concept in your coding. You should not repeat same code in your application. Actually, when you write same process again and again, your application will take more space in your hard disk and other computers, and we do not want that. The code should be as simple as possible. So, for example, it's not very hard to calculate the factorial. Let's say 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals to 5 factorial. If it was 6, I should just add 6 to it here. You can calculate it like this. When you need it, if you need to calculate factorial only once, you do not need to write any method for that. But let's say you need to calculate very big numbers like this, and a lot of times you will use them in your application. I don't know why. There might be a reason. I don't think about that, but think the logic. You need to calculate you need to apply same method, same structure again and again. So you need to create a method for that. Each time you will say, hey method, the number is 120. Please calculate the result of this factorial. The result is blah blah blah. And when you add another number, 155, the computer will calculate the result in nanoseconds for you. And instead of calculating, writing that code again and again, when you need it, call that method to the hard, heavy lifting. Whenever it's necessary, just call it and use the method. By that way, if you use method and methods will have a name, the main method will be more understandable. There will be less code there. When somebody comes to your code, they won't live hard life. For example, you are working in a company and you wrote a lot of different codes, and let's say you became the boss, and a lesser guy, a new guy, start working in the same place. So he or she will be able to understand if there are less code in the main method, of course. If you write same codes again and again, it will be hard for the new guy to understand what's going on there. You know, when you are writing code, all methods, if it is working, that's all, you know. But there's a better option. If it is working and understandable, it is better code. Don't forget that. Professionals always write their code that way. It works, of course, and it is understandable for everyone. Okay, let's continue. For example, this is a project, a school project. And it seems very simple, as you can see. And if you start the course after these 3 lessons, you will create this kind of projects, a lot of projects, don't worry. So this is a school project, and you know, every menu here has different functions. When you click one or write one, it will give you all the skill informations. For the second one, it will open a teacher's menu, and it is a function. And let's say the user of this application will reach here teacher's menu again and again. It will come here, it will select, you will select students menu, then it will quit, then it will the user will choose teacher's menu. It will do some jobs. It will the user will return here and choose for it to do something with students menu. Each task should be created by a method. Otherwise, it won't work. Here, for example, when user chooses teacher's menu, or both of them are student menu, that's the student menu, the system will come here, and then user will choose another one, and it will go back to the here. If user comes here, the second menu, every menu will have a different responsibility. It's very clear that we should create all of them as a method. When users select 4 here, it will start a new function which will be written in the method to add a new teacher. 5 will take us to another method, SSN for teacher. I'm not sure what it does. 6 will take us to the main method, and it will repeat itself again and again. For this kind of situations, we have to create methods. You know, when users select this one, in the coding, this method, this is a method call, and it will take us to somewhere else. And it will take us to here. And we will go back to the here, according to the options user select. Here, there, here, there, here, there, and we will, at the end, we will quit, of course, from somewhere, or press Alt F4 to close everything. So I hope it is understandable. For this kind of things, we have to, I'm saying we have to use methods. You cannot write all those codes in a single class, in a single method. It will be very uncontrollable and understandable. Nobody will be able to understand what you're doing there. And most of the time, it won't work as you wished for. As you can see, we must need methods. Oh, okay, we must use methods to create any application you see in your life or work. I'm not sure where will you go whenever you open your computer or mobile phone. Everything is being handled by a method. When you click on something, it opens another method. It will be like a method call. You know, you are not using the method name, but picture does that. When you click the picture, this system calls another method. Okay, let's have a break time. There's return is a little hard to understand at first. After 10 minutes, we will continue. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please write wherever you are. If you are in the YouTube, right there. If you are in the Zoom, use Zoom. If you are in Slack, write it from there. I would love to answer those questions. But first, break time. We will have 11 minutes. Then we will continue. Thank you very much. Okay, we're talking about the methods, and we have different functions of methods. But first, let me check something. Okay, let's learn a few things about methods. Actually, we know how to use methods. We don't know how to create them, but we know how to use them. Let me show you. We will go back to the coding and continue from there. CO9 methods. If I say something like that, main method, please change or please capitalize all the letters. And let's have a string str. It is 0. We have a string. Now the task is change all letters to capital letters. Change all letters and use capitals. Okay, on the first letter is a capital, we have to change all of them. How do we do that? It's very easy. Str dot. I hope you can see a little m here. It means these are all methods. The first method, second method, third method, and there are a lot of different methods you can use, and all of them are created by Java developers. And these are not methods. And we have a method to that, to uppercase. This method will change all the letters. If I run it, okay, this is the one. If I print the star itself, salt star. I hope you can remember it didn't, when I run it like this, we will see we did not change the original value. Even though we could be able to print something else, it did not affect the original value. We are going to talk about that. For now, I just want to mention that. And let's use something else. If you want to change the original value, you should make the assignment. Str equals to str dot to uppercase. If you do that, after that, when you print it, str will change, because you are saying that Java is beautiful with the capital letters. It's here. When you make the assignment, original value will change. When you print it again, we will be able to see it has been changed. Can I use local English? Okay, I will use English here because I want to see them as English. Let me change this capital letters. No, it's okay, it's working. You do not need to do that if your computer is using English, so don't worry. My computer is using Turkish, so it's applying Turkish rules to the cases. So we have another method. Let's use them. Does this string value contain this letter? Yes, it does. The first letter. How do we check it? Sub star contains. As you can see, this is another method. Dot. Let's find it. It should be somewhere. Where is it? Contains. Okay, first the symbol was different, so I wanted to write it like this. This is a method, as you can see. And inside of it, we should write another string. This is the method, and I will write letter here. If you want to visit the method itself, you just need to hold down your where it is. You just need to hold down your Control K and click on it, left click. This is the this will take us to the method where it has been created. We are not going to understand. We won't be able to understand anything from here, but don't worry, it is not very important. But there is an explaining, so perhaps you may be able to understand the rules from here. But I just want to show you, this is a string class. It has been created by Java developers for us to use. It has all the different code methods and things you may use when you need it. So this is a string data type. This is a method. It checks if this str, Java is beautiful, if it does contain this letter. It checks that. It's a method created by Java developers. And the result will be true, of course. Come on, you can do it, my computer. I know you. True. I hope you could be able to understand that we are actually using methods. Let's continue. Return type. I will create a mission right now. This is a calculator. We will create it. This will be our own calculator. What it does, it will calculate the sum of two numbers. Purpose, sum of two numbers. That's its only purpose. It will calculate sum of two numbers. And this is the mission. It will calculate two numbers. It means I have to send two numbers, right? To mission, by using the buttons, I will send 5 and 4. To calculate the result of the sum of the two numbers, it needs two numbers. And it will work. Then it will return me. Yes, it will be the answer, but technical word is return. It will return me another number, 9. So this is the result. These are the entries. If you can see, we have entered two integers. Integer, numbers. The result is also integer. You should mention that. When you are creating the method, you should explain those details. You should say, hey, this mission will accept two integer numbers, and the result will be an integer number. This will be the return. I mean, this mission, don't mind the entries, it will return an integer number. For example, what happened when we write this code contains blah blah. When I try to print this, somehow it printed through. It means it returned through. The answer of this mission, this method, is true. Just like this one, I want to explain again. You have to mention what you will enter to your machine, and you should create, according to the rules, a return type. Entry types are integers, two integers, and the result type is integer. When you are creating the machine, you should decide that. You should set those features of your machine. I mean, you should set a return type. Here it is integer. You should set a return type. You should set a return type. You should set a return type. If it is not returning anything, it means a return will be void. It is like a black hole. Even though it will return nothing, you should say void. It will return a void for you. Nothing. It means nothing. But I do not know why they have used void word, but we are not talking about that. They are very creative people, they use void word and we will use it. If your method is not returning anything, sometimes it happens, and you will ask me, why do we create that kind of methods? Don't worry, I will explain that too. But if it does not return anything, you should write void. And for now, we will use void out of times. Yes. If there's a result, the method will return us something. And we should say the data type of that return. If it will return us an integer number, we should say that this method will return an integer. Here, for example, when you use str to lowercase, there is something here at the right side. This is the return. It means this method will return us a string. If you want to return, if you want to save the result of this method, you should create a string data type. Otherwise, it won't work. And all these methods will return us string. This one will return a child array. We haven't learned arrays, don't worry. This one will return us an integer. When you call this method, it will give you an integer. The result of the machine will be integer. We do not know those methods, so don't worry about that for now. But you should be able to read the return type of the method you are using. When you are writing it, at the right side, there will be something like that. Let me show it to you. We have used it here. What's str dot contains. As you can see, when you use this method, if it contains the whatever you enter here, a boolean, it will return a boolean for you. The boolean will be true. If it does not contain it, the result will be again a boolean, false. Length, what about you? When you use a length, it will return you a number, right? Let's write it. str.length. Let's print it. We know it will print a number. Let's see. Here, it has 17 characters. Let's try to store that number. Can I store it in a string? String length will be str.length. As you can see, it says this one will return an integer. You cannot store it in a string data type. When I try to do it, it will complain. When I change the first data type, make it integer, everything will be okay. You should be careful what your method returns. It returns an integer. According to that, you should create your code. And they may return a lot of different things. Method types, there are actually two method types. First one returns nothing. And you will ask what it's for if it returns nothing. Let's say you are giving a responsibility to a child. And print that picture. Child will print that picture, right? Let's have a sweet home here. Yes, I know it's not very beautiful, but at least it's a home. And door will be here, a huge door. Child will print it. Let's print somewhere. And it won't return anything to us. It won't show it. The child does not need to show this picture to us. Even though it does not return anything, the child, I mean, this picture will be painted. I know this is a very bad example. Let's try to read here. Perhaps it will be a better example. Yes, we will create a method to enroll a student. It won't return us anything. You know, when you try to register a student somewhere, let's say the method is register student. The method will register student there, group 3, for example. The student will be here, but the code will not return us anything. Code function is registering enrolling student to enrolling student in group 3. It will add it there. It will add him, the student, I mean, there without returning anything. We won't see any result, but we will know that from now on, student is in the group 3. Of course, a little message would be nice, but without that message, it will work, right? But it say a registration done successfully, but if it does not register student, it means nothing. So if it returns this text message, but if it does not do the job, it means nothing, right? So this message is not important. It is like a relief for the user. As you can see, if method says it was successfully, it is successfully registered, but does not register the student, it means nothing. Just a message, nothing more. Just like paying the bills, right? Let's say you give a child, you know him, and he is trustworthy. You give him money and the bill, and he went and paid the bill. And he did not return you anything. But you know that he did the job, even though you did not receive any paper or anything. Here, I mean, if the job is more important than returning something, just complete the task. Don't worry about the messages. He will pay the bills. The second one, some method will give us a result, of course. Let's say this guy, hopefully if you are old enough, you will be able to remember this Jaffer, doorman, I think, doorman of the Bizimkiler apartment. So you can order to buy a bread. Of course, he will bring the bread in front of your door. If you don't take it, it won't do anything. He brought the bread for you, and he is waiting in front of your door, but you are not taking it. If you do that, it means nothing. So methods like that, if methods returns you something, and if you don't use it, it means nothing. You have to use whatever method returns. You can do anything with it, but don't forget that you have to use what method returns. Oh yes, it's doorman. He brings whatever you want, but if you don't take it from him, it means nothing. Java store. When you use it like this, to uppercase, it will change it and it will return you the a string. Let me show you. Don't forget this one. We will use this method, but it won't do anything. If I can open IntelliJ, I will show you. So we have an str. So let's create a new str. String str2, it will be Java. And I will use the same method, str2 dot to uppercase. I have used this method. What it will do? It will do nothing. Yes, it will change Java. Let's write a separator here. I will enter out of equal symbol. And let's see what will happen after that symbol. It will print this symbol, and I want to talk from the results. Can you say anything after this symbol? No, because we have used the method, but it did nothing. I did not use what it returns. I know that this method returns a string to uppercase. It will return a string. I know now, right now, there is Java here. With capital letters. I can print it. I can store it to another string variable, or I can add another Java plus blah blah. But as you can see, I need to do something with it. Otherwise, it won't change anything. It's very crucial. You have to use whatever method uses. Let's print it. If you use salt, as you can see, this will return Java, and I'm printing it to the screen. It means I'm using it. I hope I could be able to explain. If method returns something, if Dorman brings you something, you have to take it, you have to use it. Otherwise, it will mean nothing. How many times I said nothing? I'm not sure, but I hope you got it. Let me check the questions. Oh, there are a lot of them. I cannot answer that many questions, so sorry. Let's continue. So, how can we use it? You can store the value to another string, or you can directly print it. It's totally up to you, but you have to use whatever method returns. So when we shoot a void method, when you create a method, if you want to print the result directly, you can use void return type. If you don't want to return anything, if you want to just print it, you can use void return type. Don't forget, void means black hole. It will swallow anything and it will show you nothing. Everything will be black. It won't return anything. Void means that. If you want to print something, use void return type. That's all. You just need to remember that. If you only want to print something when you call the method, return type is void. That's all we should remember. That's the case sentence here. How do we create a method? Public means access modifier. We will learn it. Public means it's public for everybody. You can reach it from everywhere. And we have a few of them. Don't worry about them. I will switch. The second one, static. Still, we are not going to worry about this one too. We will always use static for now. I'm saying this part underlined. For now, every method will be static. It's very hard to explain that. Oh, sorry, something is happening. Let me close it if I can find it. Where are you? Please close. Still, I cannot find it. Sorry. Okay, I think I could be able to fix that, but I couldn't be able to find the source of that voice. I hope you did not hear that, but I'm not sure. Let's continue. Oh, void, return time. Uh, Public static is fixed, and you need to write the void. If you write return type, the third word should be about return type. If you write void here, it means it won't return anything. Instead, it will just print something. You can print the result. You can print anything. You can even print hello world. It's totally up to you. When you write void, it will return nothing. If you write integer, just like the machine I have explained at first, this is the machine, and you will enter, it will have two entries, 3 and 4, for example. The result means it will return something. Return. And you know, if you want to calculate some of these numbers, the result will be 7. An integer. As you can see, this is the K part. You will know it will return an integer. If you calculate the sum of two numbers, the result will be also a number. And here, if you want to return a number as a result, you should write integer. You can predict that, right? When you create this kind of method, it will return an integer. And when you are creating the method, you should write what it will return. Don't forget that. Let's clean everywhere. And here, you should write return, whatever you want it to return. It says, please calculate the sum of these numbers and return it. 7 will be returned here. Okay, that's enough of coding. I think let's write a few things. This way it will be easier for everybody. I will create a new class, C10 methods. Let's create a method. Create a method to calculate sum of two numbers. This will be our method. Our method will take two numbers from user. Our method will take two numbers from user. Then it will print. You know, it will print. If you say print, it means return type will be void. Then it will print the result. That's all. Let me write a topic. If we want to print again, I'm really sorry. This time I want source and close it. If we want to print, we should use void return type. Now everything seems fine. No matter what, we have to create the main method. This is our factory, and outside of it, if you want to create a method, you should create it outside of the main method. It's very important. Main method starts and ends here. I will create my method here. Let's write the name of the method. Public and static dashboards are fixed. I just want to print something So I will use void return type. Then I should write the name of the method. Calculate sum of two numbers and print them. I'm not going to write anything. So we want to take the numbers from user. Let's do that. Scanner, scan, new scanner, new scanner, new.in. So please enter first number. Then integer first number will be taken from user. Scan guys next in. So please enter second number. Integer second number will be again taken from user. We have two numbers. Let's calculate the result. Integer result will be equal to first number plus second number. Then let's we are trying to print the result. Let's print the result. So result. That's all I need to do. This code, first part will take the numbers from user. We'll take numbers from user. This part, I will calculate the result. We'll calculate the result. And this one, it will print the result. We'll print the result. Okay, now we have the code. But here, if you remember, everything starts from main code, right? The system will come here to main method, and it will execute all the codes until the end of it. Do you see any code here? No, it means nothing will happen. Even though we have written that much code, nothing will happen. Let's run it. When you buy a new robot, you should use it. If you don't use it, it won't do anything, right? Let's use the method. How do we use the method? I will call this method. Calculate sum of two numbers. And voila, that's all. Again, I shouldn't be able to catch the bug. This is a method call. It will start the method we wrote. This time, there will be something. The system will ask numbers from us. Okay, 15, the second number will be 30, and here, 45. It's working. We have created our first method, and that really made me happy. I want to cry. Okay, that's all for today. I will continue tomorrow. Hopefully, you try to create a lot of methods, and hopefully they work. Thank you very much, and good night, wherever you are. We will continue on Friday, I think. See you on Friday. But before that, I want to check if there's a question. I read it for so long, but there's no question here. Okay, thank you for no question.